Hi everyone, and welcome to Paper Pumpkin Week here on Creative Chelsea. Today I'm going to be sharing with you my fourth alternative card idea made with the June 2026 Paper Pumpkin Kit called Bikes and Blooms. This kit creates 9 cards and you get enough supplies to make 3 of each of these designs. And what I like to do is take the contents from the kit and create my own designs. And today we're going to be creating this fun, simple card today using the front of the envelopes from the kit. So we have this piece here, and this again is the front envelope. You can see that it's the one with the pink lines. It is cut to 3 3/4 inches by 5 inches. And when you cut it down, you want to try and get this white rectangle to be in the center. So just measure and trim until you get down to about center. It doesn't need to be perfect. Also from the kit, you're going to need this small planter die cut. And then you're going to need a card base. And I'm using Barely Blush cardstock. And it's just your normal card base, 5 1/2 inches by 8 1/2 inches and scored at 4 1/4. This card comes together really quickly, so let's go ahead and get started. So I love that these envelopes had this cute stripe pattern on them, but it just was very faint and I really wanted to make it more bold. So I'm taking my light Calypso Coral Stampin' Blend marker and I am going to color in every other stripe to make a nice bold design here. And my marker is probably on its way out. I can see that the tip is not doing its best. So I might have to go over these. If you cannot get it to be completely straight, that's okay. And when you go around the white rectangle, if by chance it goes inside the rectangle a little bit, that's okay too. This gives it a nice bold impact, visual impact on the card. Okay, there we go. Because the border around the center rectangle is uneven, I wanted to try evening it out. And I do have this fun shimmer brush. This color is the Crisp Cantaloupe. And so you're going to need to make sure you prime it by squeezing it to get the glimmer ink to come all the way down to the brush. But I've already done that, so I should be good to go. I'm just going to go ahead and add, I'm going to try to relax my hand. I'm shaking for some reason. And just try to smooth out that edge with a little bolder color. The Crisp Cantaloupe is a little darker. Oh my gosh, why am I shaking? I need to relax. I'm lifting my arm up off my desk a little bit because I'm worried that maybe my desk was making it shake, like maybe it dragging along my glass mat. When creating a straight line, you want to keep this part of your arm straight. Do not try to make a straight line from your wrist. You want to pivot at your elbow. So put your elbow down, lift your arm up and off your table, place the pen and the tip of the marker in a comfortable angle, and then match the angle of the line to the way your arm is going to go. So you can see that I'm not trying to go straight like this because that's an uncomfortable angle for my arm. I've moved it at an angle moving away from me because that's the angle that my elbow will pivot on, okay? So, and then I'm lifting it up off the table. Normally I would relax it on the table, but I'm feeling like that is creating a bumpy line. And then just start like thin and just move from your elbow to create that straight line. And I'm going over it a couple times to create a nice dark color. And it's supposed to have that hand-drawn look, so it doesn't need to be perfect, but that is the best way that I know how to get a straight line. Okay, so now that we've done that, we're going to stamp our greeting in Calypso Coral. Where did my Calypso Coral go? There it is. In Calypso Coral ink, which is the ink that came in the kit. And I'm going to do Have a Lovely Day. If you want to go with a black ink, you can. That will definitely give you a stronger, bolder look. I think that when I cut this, I might have made one side a little shorter than the other. Yeah. So by accident, this side up here got cut skinnier. You can see that my 1-inch mark is inside the white rectangle. But down here, the 1-inch, well, if I flip it, the 1-inch mark is above the white rectangle. So this area is wider. And I always want to put that wider or larger space at the bottom. Okay? That will make it feel a little weighted. So just right in the center at the top of this rectangle, I'm going to stamp my greeting. Okay, so this can now go on my card base. This card base has a little more pink to it. The Calypso Coral and the Crisp Cantaloupe, they are more orangey pinks, and this one's more of a pale true pink, I think. And so I think it looks good, but if you wanted to change it up and put it on a petal pink or something that has a little more orange to it, you can. Oh, I'm going to put another dimensional on this side just to make sure everything's supported. This envelope paper is a little thinner than our regular cardstock, and so it needs a little more support than what I usually do. All right, so once you've got those dimensionals on there, go ahead and layer that in the center of your card base. And we are going to splatter it with a dark ink. And I'm just going to use my dark Calypso Coral, but I don't want any splatter in this white area. So I'm going to take some Post-it notes and just cover it up, mainly the top. The bottom, if it gets it in there, I won't really care. So you're going to just want to move things out of the way. Sometimes, even though I'm using a box, it can get outside the box. And I'm just going to add splatter to add texture. And you can change up the way you splatter. It can sometimes change the size of the drops. Okay, so if you want an area to be clear of splatters, that's a really easy tip. So it's going to look like this. Next, we're going to stamp on the die cut from the kit. This is the small planter. I'm going to stamp it in Calypso Coral with the 5 flower image, which fits nicely in those openings that are in this die cut. So it'll look something like this. And I wanted it to be fuller, so we're going to stamp a little more, and then we're going to fussy cut out some of these flowers. I'm going to stamp this 3 times, but I'm only going to ink it up once, and that's going to give me some variety in the different tones of pink. So I've stamped once, add a warm breath to add more moisture, which will give you a darker color, and then do that one more time to get a nice light pink color. Okay. If that light pink color is too light for you, you could use a light ink color like Barely Blush or a second generation of any other light pink color. So once you've got that done, we are going to fussy cut out some of these flowers. And I'm going to fussy cut out the two largest flowers from both the dark and the middle tones. Okay, so these two flowers here, and this flower and that flower there. And then I'm going to fussy cut out the three light flowers in this small. So the small flowers from the lightest color. Can you see that okay? So go ahead and start fussy cutting these out, and I'm going to do it off screen, and then I'll come back and we'll put them on our card. Okay, so I have fussy cut those out. You can see done the two large flowers in the dark tone, two large flowers in the medium tone, and then three of the small flowers in that lighter tone of the calypso coral. I've added them with glue dots, and then this is just a glue dot backing, and just added them to that so I didn't lose them all over my desk. So we're just going to build up the flowers here to give a little more full look. I'm going to just cover up this large flower with the dark flower that I just cut, just so that I can kind of tuck things around it as well. Let's do a medium flower a little lower. Let's do a light flower behind it. Okay, let me show you a close-up. Let's add another dark flower up here, maybe a little down a little further. And then we'll add this large flower off to the side just slightly. And then a couple small flowers in between. Hold on, this one feels a little awkward. I'm going to bring it just down a little more. And a couple of small light flowers in between these areas there. Okay. So you'll get something like this. You can fill it in with more images if you want. I didn't want to cover up too many of the stamped images from the die cut. And so this is kind of where I stopped. But you, of course, can add as many as you'd like. We are going to pop this up with dimensionals in the bottom half of our white rectangle. And I just put them in the middle, so that way I can tuck some linen thread behind it. Okay, so that's super cute. So for this card, I am going to use a total of 18 inches of linen thread. So measure it out, and then I'm going to smooth out that curliness of the linen thread by pulling it through my finger and my thumbnail. And then I'm going to cut it in half. And then take that one, wrap it around my fingers. Let's do 2 fingers. Wrap around 2 fingers, and then it will have a tail. Maybe loosen up one of those to be a little bigger than the other. And then I'm going to add a glue dot to this end and the 2 loops. But the long tail is not being added, okay? So that way it looks like more of like half of a bow. That's what we're creating here, is a half bow shape. And if you want to make them a little bigger, you definitely can. Let's go ahead and add that glue dot before this falls apart on me. Okay, so I only had really tiny glue dots, so I'm going to use a piece of tear and tape. Again, just put the 2 loops and the one end on that, and then you can fold it over and remove the paper backing. And then we're just going to tuck this in as half of a bow, just right underneath there. And if you want to add a dimensional there so that it doesn't stick, you can. Let's get that tail to go up. Okay, so there's the first half of the bow, and then let's do the second half. So same thing, hold one end, wrap around 2 fingers, maybe make one a little bigger. Where did that go? Okay. And then the end that you were holding plus the 2 loops, they get connected together. And you can sandwich it on a glue dot or 2, or you can put it on some tear and tape. You could probably even put it on a dimensional if that's what you want to do. I'm going to bring this long end closer to the middle and then stick it on my Take a Pick tool. This just helps me tuck it under, and it goes on the opposite side of the first one. There we go. I may go ahead and tuck in some dimensionals after I've got those there, just to hold things in place. Keep it from falling and not being supported. There we go. Very cute. What I like about doing half bows is that you can tuck them really wherever you want, and you're not wasting linen thread here in the middle. Not like that would be a ton, but maybe 1 or 2 inches, depending on how big your image is. And you can have a little bit more control over how much of the bow is being seen. So it's really great for larger images like this. If I was putting it behind a greeting, I would still probably just do a regular faux bow. So there is my card. If you have any of the butterfly images, these embellishments, you can add those. That would be really cute. Maybe just a couple off to the side. Really fun card. Well, I hope you enjoyed watching me create this bold and simple paper pumpkin alternative using the June 2026 paper pumpkin kit. If you're interested in getting your own kit, please subscribe using the link in the description below. If you would like to see written instructions or close-up images on how I created this card, you can visit my blog, creativechelsea.com. Thanks so much for watching. Have a creative day. Bye.